Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Caramel Sunday's Sublime Vanilla. Now, this candle that I am reviewing here, I purchased during the April Restock event, and this is one of their 4-wick 40-ounce vessels. Now, that's always important to take into account because sometimes the sizes that the candles are available in vary from restock to restock. And so it looks like this Sunday, when the candles restock, this fragrance will only be available in one of their 2-wick, about 18 ounces of wax formula. So Caramel Sundays is a small business based out of Monroe, Georgia. They pride themselves on pouring 100% soy wax candles. They are non-toxic. They don't have any of the harmful ingredients that a lot of us are concerned about these days. Very clean burning candles, as you can see right here in front of me. So let's go ahead and talk about this fragrance a little bit more because, like I said, the fragrance is going to be available in the restock, as well as I believe they will have it in like car diffusers. Not sure about wax melts, but you can always check out their website, and I think everything is uploaded on there that will be available. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. We have fragrance notes on this candle are top notes of green lime and orange, mid notes of warm vanilla and sugar, base note of tonka, coconut, and pepper. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. My eye immediately went to this fragrance when I saw it being offered because one of my all-time favorite summertime fragrances is a Yankee Candle's Vanilla Lime. And I thought, oh, I wonder if this is like their take on this fragrance. I will tell you guys that it is not the same fragrance as Vanilla Lime. Vanilla Lime to me is very lime forward, and you get a little bit of vanilla like mixed in the background. I would say like the ratio of like lime to vanilla in that fragrance is probably like 70% lime with 30% vanilla in the background. This fragrance, I do enjoy it, but it is not the Yankees Vanilla Lime, which is fine. This is Caramel Sunday's Sublime Vanilla. This is their take on like a creamy kind of lime fragrance. To me, I feel like this fragrance is equal parts lime. I would say it's like maybe like 60% lime, but there is definitely a base here of vanilla, and even one of the fragrance notes that is listed in here is orange, which I would still say lime is still the most dominant note here, but I will tell you that as this candle burns, I do detect some of that orange note in here, and the orange note that I smell in here, I enjoy it. It reminds me almost of like an orange creamsicle. Again, it's probably the mixture of orange with vanilla in this fragrance. I have actually been burning this alongside, you guys know how I am. I like to burn, one fragrance out in the living room, another complimentary fragrance in the bedroom. I've actually been burning this with Kringle Candles Reserve Orange, which smells just like straight up orange juice. And then the other fragrance that I recently just got in, you will actually see it in a Homeworks haul that I hope to put up this weekend for you guys. I did recently get Valencia Orange from Homeworks, which I always told you guys that it kind of smells like an orange popsicle to my nose. And it's been a great complimentary fragrance. But make no mistake, you guys, this is still very much a lime dominant candle, but it does have kind of like a creamy orange vanilla base going on in there. My nose does not detect a ton of coconut in here, but I could see how that would be in there. I have heard some people pick up the pepper note. I don't really get pepper, maybe a little bit, but like to my nose, I wouldn't like smell this and be like, oh, there's a pepper note. Like, no, it's definitely the main notes to me that I smell in here are lime, and it's very much like a sugary lime. It's not like it's like a gourmand bakery lime. Let me put it that way. It's not like the astringent lime that you would put in like a margarita or anything like that. It's definitely more like baking type of lime. Lime, again, creamy orange and vanilla in this fragrance. I actually really, really like the fragrance. I do have it also in the car diffuser, and that it's definitely scenting up my Ford Expedition quite well. That's a larger vehicle. So I definitely give 2 thumbs up to the car diffusers if you're looking at them. I've had it since I got my order in, gosh, probably 3.5 weeks ago now. And I still have plenty of fragrance oil left in there, and it's scenting up the vehicle perfectly fine. But yeah, you guys, I do like this fragrance quite a bit. But let's go ahead and talk about the performance on this one. So like I said, this is the 4-wick. So the 2-wick might vary. The 4-wicks I do find perform a little bit better in my open concept space, but I am encountering something a little bit different with this 4-wick that I haven't had with some of the other 4-wick candles that I have purchased from Caramel Sundays. And what I mean by that is that I find that this candle takes a little while to start projecting. I do find that this fragrance actually needs, the deeper the wax pool, the more I can smell it. But this candle, I would say like the first, probably like 30 minutes of this candle, especially now that I'm beyond the halfway point of it, but I would say like the first few burns on this candle, I really didn't detect it much until the candle had been burning for almost an hour, which I thought was a little bit strange. I was like, wow, like this smells really good on cold. But I don't know. I think it takes a little bit longer to come to life for me. Again, that is out in the open concept. In the closed concept, I could definitely start smelling it within 30 minutes. So I think it's probably just the layout of my home. I do have listed in the description box down below. If you are unfamiliar with the layout of my home, I give you all of those details down there. But my living room space is more open concept and it has really high vaulted ceilings, whereas the bedroom has lower 9-foot high ceilings. So candles definitely perform differently in those two spaces. But I will say that I did notice once I started getting like about a third of the way through the candle, which I do find is pretty common, not just with caramel sundaes, but 100% soy wax in general. Sometimes I find that it can take maybe like 2 or 3 burns before the candles really start to come to life. And I feel like that was the case with this one. I feel like it took about 3 burns before I would start to smell it a little bit earlier on in the burn process. Now, I do want to say that on those first couple of burns, once I had the candle burning for about an hour, I did start to smell it. And again, the deeper that the wax pool goes on this candle, the more scent I get from it. So this candle has been burning right now for, goodness, I think I've had this burning now for about 3 hours. And actually, no, closer to 4 hours. And I would say out in my open concept right now, strength and throw on it, it's about like a 7.5, almost 8. But if you would have asked me about an hour after I lit it, what the strength and throw was, I would have said it was probably like around like a 6.5, 7. So I would say that the pro to 100% soy wax is that you can usually burn it for longer periods of time without the wax getting sooty and gross. So that's a pro here in this, in this case, because if you want more amped up strength and throw, you're going to have to let it burn a little bit longer, or maybe get it into a hurricane so that way it can achieve a deeper wax pool, a little bit quicker. But for me, I haven't put it in a hurricane. I've just been burning it without one. So that's been my burn experience with this candle so far. Is this a fragrance that I would consider repurchasing in the future? Yes, I would. But I would probably purchase it again in this 4-wick format. Um, just because, again, I think that I get better performance with that. Now, if you have more of a closed concept home and you like to burn your candles in hurricanes, I think that the 2-wick will probably still perform decently for you, because I think that the citrus note in here, the lime, and again, a little bit of that orange is what ends up carrying this fragrance. It's funny, like this is just one of those scents that I do find myself sometimes going nose blind to it. And I'll think like, gosh, this one really isn't throwing that well. But then I'll leave the room and then I come back into my room and I'm like, oh, wow, there it is. Like it's definitely noticeable. So again, I mentioned this in one of my other candle reviews, but I do think that those of us who are accustomed to fragrance, whether that's through candles or wax melts, or maybe we wear a lot of perfume, I think our tolerance excuse me, is a little bit higher. And so therefore, I think we might have a tendency to go nose blind to things quicker than other people. Other people have walked into my home, you guys, when I've been burning this candle. And again, not all of my friends, very few of my friends actually burn candles like I do, or, use fragrance as much as I do. And when they've walked into my home, even after like, I would say like 45 minutes of burn time, they'll walk in and they're like, oh, it smells really good in here. That's a nice smelling candle. And I'm like, I can barely smell it, but they definitely do. So always, you guys, that's always kind of the interesting thing. But also, we purchase candles for us to smell them, right? So like totally fine if you're like, I want to be able to smell my candle all the time. overall, like I said, you guys, I would repurchase this candle if it were to return in the 4-wick format. Probably not this year, I will be honest with you guys, because my mindset is kind of gravitating more towards looking towards fall fragrances. I know we're only in May, but as a reviewer, I do kind of always have to be looking ahead. I do feel pretty content with the amount of candles that I have for my summer stash. I want to be able to burn through most of them this summer. So I don't see myself repurchasing this candle for the summer. I don't know if this is one of the fragrances that will come back in the June restock in a 4-wick. For some reason, I feel like when I just recently looked on the website, though, that this one was still listed under the 4-wicks. So my recommendation, if you can get it in a 4-wick, if it is within your budget, the 4-wicks do retail for $64.99. The 2-wicks are $31.99. That does include the cost of shipping. And I do always want to harp on this. Make sure you're signed up for their rewards program because you can earn enough points. They're pretty generous with that rewards program in terms of accruing points pretty quickly. And you can redeem that for 15% off of your purchase. So yeah, this one does get 2 thumbs up from me. But yeah, just be aware of some of those little like quirks that I found in the beginning. It's still burning very, very well for me. And again, I'm still really enjoying this fragrance. So 2 thumbs up. Let me know if you guys are planning to purchase this one in the restock coming up this month. I do know that Caramel Sundays did also release on their website, or not on their website, on their Instagram page. I think they had made a post about what fragrances, like this is the last one that you're going to see of them this summer. They have one more restock for summer fragrances, which will be in June. But I think that they even said like after the May restock, they listed what fragrances are kind of going into the vault until next year. And I can't remember if this is one that was on that list. But regardless, you guys, I do like the fragrance. If you're somebody who likes lime fragrances, you're going to like it. If you don't like lime fragrances, you're probably not even interested in this candle to begin with. So safe to say there. So let me know in the comment box down below if this one is on your wish list for this restock, or feel free to let me know. I was going to say, feel free to let me know what's on your restock, but I am going to do my wish list video. I will have that up for you guys later on this week, and maybe we can chat about it in that video. So again, please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.